Here are the top 10 ways Billie Jean King has helped change the world. Number 1, she showed us the power of a unified women's sports movement. So rewind to 1970. Billie was the central force in forming the original 9. She and 8 other female tennis players, they all signed $1 contracts to break away from the existing tennis establishment to form, gutsy, their own professional circuit, which was the birth of women's professional tennis as we know it today. 3 years later, in 1973, she founded the Women's Tennis Association, the WTA, the first athlete-led professional league for women. So without those 2 moments, Abs, the idea that women athletes could organize and speak with one collective voice might not exist. Thank you, Kinger.
It feels wrong to even go to number 2 because that is such an important moment. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, but in the interest of time, number 2, the Kinger taught us, Jules, to never settle for the crumbs.
Yeah.
Before Billie, women earned a fraction of men's prize money. Okay, after winning the 1972 U.S. Open, where the male winner made $25,000 and Billie Jean King earned $10,000, she said the women would not return next year until they were paid equally with the men, forcing.
Yeah.
This is, by the way, in 1972, forcing the U.S. Open to become the first major to offer equal prize money in 1973. And as we know, the Kinger has counseled countless athletes across many sports and generations to unite under one vision, to get clear on what they deserved, what they should demand, and never settle for less.
Yeah. Word. Number 3, the Kinger showed millions of girls and women what they were capable of achieving. So on September 20th, 1973, 90 million people watched Billie Jean King defeat Bobby Riggs under the lights of the Houston Astrodome. It was called the Battle of the Sexes. You may have seen the movie if you're too young to be alive when it happened. I was 2. Abby wasn't born. Young girls saw her walk into that arena carrying the weight of every stereotype and walk out having rewritten what's actually possible. And the cool thing about that night is it didn't just inspire athletes, it inspired futures. That's what I love about that night.
It's very difficult to keep moving on from these without going into much debate and discussion, but we have to. Number 4, the Kinger showed the world what women's sports could be. The Battle of the Sexes wasn't theater. It was transformation, y'all. It proved that women's sports could draw ratings. It proved that women's sports could fill arenas and stand on equal footing with men's events. Without that proof, the massive audiences for women's soccer, basketball, volleyball, rugby, cricket, it just might not have ever happened. Today might not have ever emerged without proving it all the way back then.
Yeah. Number 5, the Kinger taught us that girls who play become girls who lead. And this one is near and dear to me. The Kinger founded the Women's Sports Foundation in 1974 with a $5,000 check. So she basically won this check for Outstanding Female Athlete of the Year. And instead of depositing it in her bank, she says, let's go found a huge foundation called the Women's Sports Foundation. So that initial investment has now grown into over $100 million given to help girls and women in sports. And one of its early beneficiaries, you might recognize the name, Jackie Joyner Kersee. She went on to become one of the greatest track and field athletes in history. She later founded her own youth center to pass on that same opportunity.
Number 6, the Kinger shows us daily that athlete activism is part of our very fiber. Billie risked everything to stand for gender equity, gender equality, and later as one of the first openly gay athletes for the LGBTQ plus rights. Billie didn't just advocate for fairness. She helped build systems, programs, and pipelines that actually put fairness into practice, pushing for women and people of color in decision-making roles across business and education.
Again, thank you, Kinger. Number 7, the Kinger made sure that Title IX was fully realized. She was one of its loudest and most consistent champions, even testifying, Abby, before Congress. She was challenging schools and ensuring that the spirit of the law translated into real access. Her voice turned policy into actual participation. So thank you for that as well, Kinger.
Number 8, the Kinger made it known that women not only had a seat at the table, but also owned a piece of that table. Billie became one of the first prominent female athlete investors through her partnerships with Mark Walter and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Her presence and ownership, it really helped normalize women having not just a seat at the table, but really having equity in the game. Kinger, I myself am now a team investor and owner, and I have you to thank for that.
Yeah, samesies. Number 9, the Kinger preached from the very beginning that women's sports investments should not be based on sympathy, but actually on strategy.
Love
this.
Yes.
So Billie's approach, so smart, to equality was grounded in business. She taught from the very early days that investing in women, it's not a favor, it's not a cause, it's smart financially, and it's smart morally as well. It's a good decision. That idea seeded the billion-dollar women's sports economy we see today, and she was saying that from day one, party people.
Last and finally not least, number 10.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. The Kinger made sure generation after generation could see what they would be. You have to see it to be it. Wasn't just a quote. It was her mission. Every girl who's ever picked up a racket, a soccer ball, a hockey stick, has lived in the world Billie built. One where seeing a woman lead, win, and demand more is just simply normal.
Yeah.
Oh, Billie.
Kinger.
What would we have done without you? Nothing.
I know.
Literally.
I know.